So we already know that Republicans are about to start trying to slash Medicaid. They're trying to slash funds for poor people, kids, the elderly, veterans, all that. They need to cut all of these funds because rich people need more money. Rich people need a second, third, fourth home. They need another yacht and another European vacation. They need that. Poor people don't need all that. Poor people don't need medicine. But y'all got to hear this from the New Republic. Republican warns against cutting Medicaid for the sickest reason. Y'all got to hear this. Some Republicans are apparently trying to defend services such as Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid. They're just doing it in the worst way possible. Investigative journalist Tara Palmieri wrote in her newsletter, The Red Letter, Thursday, that one Republican operative close to the White House has been framing the issue in a way conservatives would understand. Be prepared for this truth bomb. Many of us already know this, but be prepared. Medicaid is not just for Black people in the ghetto. These are our voters, the operative said, according to Palmieri. It's not just the Blacks. Some of them are white too. Oh, my mouth dropped at the honesty. Like, we can't cut this for all of the people. They're gonna get mad. Republicans, apparently sometimes racist, scrambling to defend popular programming comes after Elon Musk declared that Social Security would be on the chopping block in an interview with CNBC's Larry Kudlow earlier this week. It seems that some of the more far-reaching cuts to Social Security pitched by Musk's Department of Government Efficiency has since been scaled back. And the thing is, many of these people, Black, white, brown, all the people, have been paying into Social Security. But then Elon Musk gets to come in and be the pseudo president and gets to cut stuff. He ain't even been here that long. He don't even belong here. Why is he running things? Why does he get to cut people's Social Security? Now, people like me, I don't really have an expectation of getting it, but some people that are getting it, why are you going to take that away from them? Obviously that's a bad thing. And you start upsetting, start upsetting the white folks. That's going to be bad for you, Republicans. That's going to be bad because it's not just for Black people in the ghetto. Trump's former campaign manager, Chris LaCivita, also hit back at Musk's comments in an interview Friday with Politico's Dana Burns. They're not going to cut Social Security. They're not going to cut Medicare. They're just not. That's fear-mongering. Okay, I guess we'll see. Musk is not the president. He doesn't get to make those decisions. That's real cute, LaCivita. But the cuts are inevitable now. Earlier this month, Republican lawmakers voted to pass a budgetary measure that would force the Committee on Energy and Commerce, which oversees Medicaid, to reduce the deficit by at least $880 billion from 2025 to 2034. That resolution sparked widespread concerns that Republicans were simply seeking a way to slash the crucial program. So they're definitely going to do it. And I'm going to be honest with y'all. People were so pressed about Obamacare or the ACA becoming the death panels. But this is going to be the real death panels because people are not going to have enough money to pay for rent and buy the amount of medicines they need. There's so much going on right now that people are going to be in survival mode, but there's not going to be nearly enough money to survive. If people are on medicines, they're going to have to choose. Are you going to go without? Are you going to ration? Are you going to cut stuff in half? People are going to have to say, am I going to pay for air conditioner? Am I going to pay for heat when it's cold? Am I going to buy some food? What kind of food can I afford? Oh, you want to strip us from the ability to buy cheap food because you want to play nanny state while also cutting my benefits? This is going to be the real death panel because people are going to have X amount of dollars, and X amount of dollars they're not going to spread as far as they go right now. In a time where they're trying to fire all these people, they're going to create a world where so many people are just simply desperate and have very few choices. Let me know what you think about this one. I saw this story a couple of days ago from Business Insider. Tesla is also going to be touched by these tariffs, and I really hope that their sales plummet off of a cliff. I really hope so. I wish the worst for him, for Elon Musk. I wish the worst for him. So this article is titled, "Read the Letter Tesla Wrote Warning the Trump administration about the harm from a trade war." Tesla had to write a letter to Trump. Tesla owner being right here, and Trump is right here. Why did they have to write a letter? The caption on this picture is funny, the way they put his son X and all of these symbols here, but how also he always has his body shield right here with him. Okay, so let's get into this article. It says Tesla has warned the Trump administration that it could bear the cost of the president's attempts to impose so-called retaliatory tariffs on U.S. trade partners. Why is it Tesla talking to the Trump administration versus President Musk talking to Trump? They're right there together. In an unsigned letter uploaded to a regulatory docket on March 11th, the automaker said a trade war could increase costs to manufacture its vehicles and lead other countries to slap tariffs on Tesla vehicles made in Austin or electronic equipment it makes in states such as California and Nevada. Yeah, duh. That's how trade wars work, Elon. Past U.S. special tariff actions have thus increased costs to Tesla for vehicles manufactured in the United States, and the increased costs for those same vehicles when exported from the United States, resulting in less competitive international marketplace for U.S. manufacturers. The company wrote, "That's what happens in a trade war. That's what happens in a trade war." Elon Musk, Tesla's CEO, has been named a special government employee who has been closely associated with Trump's drive to shrink and automate the federal government. The letter underscores how his political interest and his business interests could diverge. Tesla's share price has fallen by nearly half since its December peak. Let's see if we can get it lower. We can do better. We can do better, y'all. Musk said earlier in this week he was having a tough time running his businesses due to his involvement with the White House Doge office. And I'm thinking maybe he should step back from, firing everybody and running amok in the White House. Maybe he needs to go run his businesses. Tesla supports a robust and thorough process to gather information to ensure appropriate actions are taken to address unfair trade practices and which, in the process, do not inadvertently hurt U.S. companies, said the letter, which was previously reported by the Financial Times. The fact that the letter wasn't signed may be unusual, but it isn't unprecedented for Tesla, which has previously submitted comments to the IRS without a signature at the bottom. Letters it has submitted to other agencies have included signatures. Tesla, Musk, and the White House did not respond to the Business Insider's request for comment. I'm honestly just thinking, Musk is having a bad day. He's having a bad week with his business. And I'm thinking he should just step away from the White House involvement, step away from meddling in our business because he doesn't even belong here, and go run his own businesses. I mean, he's getting millions of dollars a day from taxpayers, even though he's cutting jobs and making sure funds are cut. Maybe he should just go focus. Go be more efficient in his businesses. Let me know what you think about this one. Like, comment, and share. Americans cut back on spending amid financial struggles. An article from Newsweek. The spending data is going to be able to tell the story. I just talked about the fact that we are going to see the real death panel soon. People are running out of money for basics, for survival. So the whole spending money for extras is going to decrease significantly. And we're just now getting started. We're 2 months into this, and it feels like at least 27 years. It feels like a lot has gone on within the last 2 months. People are about to start holding on to their cash tightly, and this is going to cause a ripple effect in the economy. All right, it says, according to several indicators, Americans are tightening their purse strings as uncertainty grows over the future stability of the U.S. economy. Why it matters. Concerns are mounting that the United States is on the brink of a significant economic downturn, sparked by tariff-related market volatility, notable declines in consumer confidence, and warnings from economists and financial institutions, as well as signaling a further increase in these economic fears and a continuation of inflationary difficulties. A marked slowdown in consumer spending, which accounts for over 2/3 of the nation's GDP, could itself increase the possibility of a recession in America's near future. What to know? According to the most recent report from the Bureau of Economic Analysis, consumer spending fell 0.2% in January, having increased 0.8% in December. This marked the first monthly decline since March 2023, the largest decrease in inflation adjusted spending in nearly 4 years. In addition, January also saw a significant drop in discretionary spending on things like clothing and footwear, down 4.7%, as well as motor vehicles and parts, down 4.1, 41.1%. Jeez. Wow, that's a big drop. Business executives have also begun observing declines in spending from their customers. At a recent event hosted by the Economic Club of Chicago, Walmart CEO Doug McMillon said that budget-pressured customers were cutting down on their purchases. He said customers were exhibiting stressed behaviors, such as purchasing smaller packs as the money runs out before the month is done. The company's chief financial officer, John David Rainey, previously warned that tariffs could prove inflationary for Walmart's customers. During the company's most recent earnings call, Dollar General CEO Todd Vassos said that customers were exhibiting similar signs of inflation-induced anxiety. Our customers continue to report their financial situation has worsened over the last year as they have been negatively impacted by ongoing inflation, Vassos said. Many of our customers report they only have enough money for basic essentials, with some noting that they have had to sacrifice even on the necessities. While recent data, including Thursday's Consumer Price Index reading, showed a slowdown in inflation, prices are continuing to rise, with American households struggling to keep up with the increasing cost of living, particularly for essentials such as food, housing, and energy, things that we cannot avoid. You can avoid buying things like clothes and shoes for a little while. You cannot avoid housing. You can't avoid paying rent and paying for food and keeping the heat or air conditioner on. You can't avoid it. Wall Street Journal, citing credit card transactions data from Citi, reported that spending has declined across most retail sectors. In the year-to-date, spending on clothing and athletic footwear has decreased by 12% and 22% respectively compared to the previous year, while luxury goods spending fell 9.3% year over year in February. Right here, I want to insert, have you cut back on spending? Have you cut back on shoes and clothes? Please drop your answer in the comments. This week, some of the nation's largest airlines also warned that weak demand will weigh on their upcoming financial results. Southwest, in a recent regulatory filing, revised down its forecast for the first quarter, blaming this on softness in bookings and demand trends as the microenvironment has weakened. American Airlines similarly warned that its first quarter results will fall short of expectations, attributing this to the fallout from the January 29th DC crash, as well as softness in the domestic leisure segment, primarily in March. And the thing is, if people don't have enough money for basics, how are they going to travel? How are they going to book flights? How are they going to book hotels? People don't have discretionary income. So of course, Southwest with the fact that they want to charge for bags now, they're going to feel it. And all this going on with the FAA and all of the plane crashes. Why would people get on planes right now? They need to fix a lot of things in the United States right now before they actually think that tourism is going to pick up. And then on top of that, we have people boycotting America. They're boycotting coming here. They're boycotting buying products. So there are going to be so many things going on at one time, and it's going to impact the GDP. It's going to impact everything. Everybody is about to revise their numbers down. What people are saying: David Rosenberg, founder and president of financial research firm Rosenberg Research, told Newsweek, uncertainty causes consumers and firms to become more cautious about their spending plans. The tariff actions by themselves will be met first with a contraction in real incomes, which will translate into declining consumer expenditures, which represent nearly 70% of GDP. The layoffs in the federal civil service and the multiplier impacts from this retrenchment poses added constraint on the economy going forward. The people in charge did not think this stuff through. They are literally out of touch with how Americans live day to day. If things cost more money, that means that they have less money to spend overall. This is not, their plans are not great for making anything great again. Delta Airlines CEO Ed Bastian recently told CNBC consumer confidence is coming down just a little bit, as we all know. That's why the market is in the challenge that it is. And as a result of that, we saw companies starting to pull back in terms of corporate spending started to stall. Consumer spending started to stall. Large domestic, largely in the close end, but it was also exacerbated, as you know, by the uncertainty that's out there. And consumers in a discretionary business do not like uncertainty. And while we do believe this will be a period of time that will pass through, is also something that we need to understand and get to calmer waters. David Wessel, senior fellow in economic studies at the Brookings Institution, told Newsweek, all the uncertainty about tariffs and chaos in Washington will lead lots of consumers and businesses to defer spending on new cars, on home renovations, on big capital investments, on hiring. And if everyone pulls back at the same time, we get a recession. We get a Trump session. Confidence is easier to destroy than to rebuild. That's the big risk right now. What happens next? The official report on consumer spending from the Bureau of Economic Analysis is scheduled for release on March 28th. I'm sure that people are not going to be spending on extras. They're going to try to pay down debt. They're going to try to buy what they need, and that's it. If your kids need clothes, obviously we got to buy that. We got to buy food, but you don't have to buy luxury items. You don't have to go out to eat. You don't have to do entertainment outside the home. And I even saw an article where it's saying that people are just becoming more homebodies. People are not going to be out. This is going to impact restaurants. This is going to impact all of those things that go along with the entertainment industry. And this is going to impact other people's jobs, even the people that didn't get fired. Those people in the outside sector, the retail sector, are going to feel the impact and the crunch because people don't have money to go out to those stores and restaurants and do those things anymore because money is tight all around. This is not going to be good for anybody. Trump tariffs, Trump trade war, the Trump session is not going to be good for the economy, and the numbers will bear that out. The government won't be able to sweep this stuff under the rug because the data will be there. And even if Trump tried to hide what the GDP is, the full country, individual companies will be able to report their data and their number and how things are falling off the cliff. All right, join the conversation. Let me know what you're doing, how you're trying to save money or prepare for the uncertainty in the economy. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. I showed this content creator Inappropriate Mommy yesterday. In this next video, she talks about how she talks to her MAGA mom and how she's trying to relay information about how things are about to be in the United States. So go ahead and take a listen.
So, my MAGA mom. Let me just tell you a couple of things. I know a lot of people have said that their family is MAGA and they cut them off and all of this stuff. And I just believe my mom is accidentally in a cult. She is 77. She just listens to Fox News and believes everything that they say because their tagline is fair and balanced. I know. She believes Fox News because they say they're fair and balanced. And she believes she's getting both sides. Because oftentimes they'll have a liberal plant on and whatever, and she thinks she's hearing both sides and making her own rational choice to believe that Trump is a god. But I have to tell you this story. So anyway, I did tell her about the tariffs, and the way I couch it with my mom is basically like, listen, Mom, I'm going to show you something, and you just need to know, I'm just letting you know so you can let everybody else in the family know, excuse me, to go buy what they need to buy now if they want to buy any kind of household appliances or anything like that, because it's about to get really expensive. The thing of it is that she believes that Trump can do no wrong and Trump has some kind of master plan, that in the end, this is very good for us, okay? But this is really funny. So she was just over last night for dinner, and she was telling me, she's like, you've got to hear this. Listen to this. So she's on Medicare, right? And this is a true story. I know this is going to sound like I'm making this up. This is an absolute true story that just happened last night. So she's on Medicare, and apparently with Medicare, you have to buy some kind of supplemental plans. Last year, her supplemental plan, I forget, it's called Silver something, I think, for prescriptions. Last year, it was $13 a month. And, you know, because she's flush with cash, she had to tell me that she paid it all at once last year. So anyway, cost $13 a month. And she has a prescription for an inhaler that she doesn't need to use that often. And last year, when she went to pick up her inhaler, it was 40 cents copay. She's like, I don't know. This has to be something left over from the Biden administration. But when I just got my new monthly payment for my plan, it went up to $50 a month. And that's the cheapest supplemental plan I can get. And then I went and picked up my prescription, and the copay on my prescription was $9 this time, not 40 cents. And she's like, you know, it's fine for me because I can afford it. I can swing that kind of change, but there are a lot of people out there who can't. And I was like, okay, so what are you going to do about it? She's like, well, Trump can't know about this. I'm going to tell him. I'm going to write him a letter, and I'm going to CC that guy who's in charge of Medicare now. And I'm like, you mean RFK? She's like, no, it's not him. He's doing other stuff. I'm like, no, honey. Well, Mom, it's RFK. And she's like, okay. Well, they can't know. They mustn't be aware. And here's the thing I like about Trump is you can tell he listens. When people are talking, he leans forward. He listens. So I'm going to write him a letter, and I'm going to let him know because I have the receipts. And she's like, you know how they say that, having the receipts? I'm like, yes, I do know how they say that. She's like, you have the receipts from your tariff bill. You should send those to Trump. And I said, you know what, Mom? That's exactly what I'm going to do.